Here's what's happening now. Our first day of spring, not exactly spectacular, and it looks like we may be going the other direction. We'll check that out coming up. Paula?
Hi, Ben. We're talking about the proposed White House budget, how it affects local kids, and it has everything to do with this jug of water and these children. Karen.
All right, Paula, Eminem's ex-wife, Kim Mathers, faces a judge over questions about failed drug tests while on probation. Up first, trouble for President Trump. The director of the FBI shoots down one presidential theory, but confirms the Trump campaign is under investigation.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, FBI Director James Comey is forced to contradict his boss, President Trump, in front of Congress and the nation. He faced questions on wiretapping at Trump Tower and alleged Russian interference in the presidential election. Devin Scillian joins us now with the very latest. And Devin, the White House is already reacting to this.
Exactly right, Karen. The White House is not backing down on those wiretapping claims, but the administration is trying to convince everyone that there's no evidence and no reason to keep investigating claims of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. But today, FBI Director James Comey confirmed an investigation into Russian influence is ongoing.
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts.
That investigation meant that it made it difficult for Comey to answer a lot of the questions he was asked today. The President Trump first made claims about wiretaps at Trump Tower via Twitter 2 weeks ago, and the White House still not backing off those claims, even though it has never produced any evidence to back them up. The FBI director left little doubt as to where he stands on that.
With respect to the president's tweets about alleged wiretapping directed at him by the prior administration, I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI. The Department of Justice has asked me to share with you that the answer is the same for the Department of Justice and all its components. The department has no information that supports those tweets.
I am saying that there's a lot more questions that need to get asked about what was being done in terms of surveillance, who was being surveilled, why were they being surveilled, what techniques.
Now, also today, the National Security Chief Admiral Michael Rogers said there is no evidence British intelligence agencies spied on President Trump at the request of President Obama. Given the White House response, doesn't seem President Trump ready to move past any of those claims yet. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Devin. Also in Washington, Senate confirmation hearings have begun for Judge Neil Gorsuch, nominated by President Trump to move on to the Supreme Court. Today's hearing featured opening statements from Judge Gorsuch and senators on the Judiciary Committee. He'll start facing questions tomorrow. Breaking news right from Detroit, where northbound Woodward Avenue is closed at East State Fair. Take a look at what's going on over there. Details still coming in, but police say two vehicles crashed into each other, forcing the Ford Ranger to roll over. You can see crews there are responding. We're told there are injuries, but we don't know exactly how many people are involved in this crash. Again, this is at Woodward and State Fair. We'll have updates as new information is available, but if you can, please avoid that area. Also first at 4, a family of 6 is in the hospital right now after a house fire in southwest Detroit. The fire started around 11 Sunday night on Otis Street. Within minutes, the entire home was filled with smoke and the front door was blocked by the fire. Inside, 3 adults and 3 children were forced to break a window to escape.
When I first came outside, the flames were just outside the side window, and then not too much longer, the whole house was engulfed.
The entire family is currently being treated for burns and smoke inhalation. Arson crews say there is evidence someone started the fire on purpose, trying to find out exactly how it was done. The ex-wife of rap superstar Eminem was back in court today for a probation violation hearing. Kim Mathers was initially placed on probation after a drunk driving crash in 2015, but was called back to court after failing 6 drug tests in 3 months. Today, the judge said failed drug tests can be accidental and that Mathers will not face jail time for the violation. Instead, her probation was extended until March of 2018. Calendar says it's the first day of spring, but our weather roller coaster ride continues this week. Let's check in for the first forecast with Ben Bailey. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Karen. Yeah, it'd be nice if we had bright skies and warm temperatures, but it still feels like winter out there. And we're adding some showers to the mix, especially in our south zone. This is mostly rain, but there have been a couple lightning strikes that have shown up. We're not anticipating anything severe, but could be a couple rumbles out there as we get through the rest of the evening. Tonight, after the showers leave, the fog starts rolling in. Not for everybody. We'll pinpoint exactly where. Temperatures below average in the middle of the week, but they will spike again as we get into the upcoming weekend. We'll look at that and talk about your 4-zone forecast all in a few minutes. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. First at 4, we're also tracking stories people are talking about from across the world. We start in Australia, where this teenager is recovering from a run-in with a crocodile and realizing he made a really bad choice. The 18-year-old was bragging that he could jump into a crocodile-infested river, and some others actually dared him to do it. Well, he jumped in and was attacked within minutes. He says he hit the crocodile right in the eye and was able to escape. He is expected to recover. A country in Central America is welcoming the nation's first baby born by in vitro fertilization in 16 years. Costa Rica banned the procedure back in 2000. Catholicism is the official state religion, and critics said IVF was a danger to fertilized eggs, which they believe should have, quote, personhood. A court overturned the ban, and little Maria Jose is the first baby girl to arrive thanks to IVF. Here at home, President Donald Trump's budget plan is being debated, analyzed, and plenty of people are asking, how will I be affected? Local 4's Paula Tutman will be taking a close look at some of the effects here in Michigan. She starts today with a look at a school mentoring program in Detroit. So, Paula, how would this be affected?
Well, first of all, let's do a simplified version of your taxes at work. So your taxes go into a big bin like this, right? And then money at the federal government level is poured into states as well as organizations that actually administer programs. And then some of those organizations actually end up at, say, an after-school program like this one in Detroit. There are many ways to spell success, all of them not so obvious on the far west side, where the living is tough. But inside Burns Elementary School and 6 other schools in Detroit, success is spelled with the help of stipend volunteers.
I'm going to go through these words so I can see what you know.
Doing service for country and community. 10 hours a day for a measly $1,000 a month.
Number 3, umbrella.
They don't come to these schools for the money. They come for the passion and the students with a program called City Year Detroit.
They help those students with their attendance, with their behavior, with their math, with their reading. They sit with them at lunch. They're working with them in the after-school space. They are like a big brother and big sister to these students.
Doctor's office and lobbies.
Yeah, that was great.
25% of City Year's $3.2 million budget comes from AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps gets operating dollars from the federal government to run various programs around the country. Here's what Mick Mulvaney, Director of Office Management and Budget, says about these kinds of social service projects.
But to take the federal money and give it to the states and say, look, we want to give you money for programs that don't work. I can't defend that anymore.
You cut the funding for this particular team at Burns, you'll miss out on the 75% of students that we help increase their assessment scores. You'll miss out on the around 80% of this improvement we've seen on math assessment scores. If you want to make sure that these kids don't reach grade level, then cut the funding. But if you want to have a competing workforce someday, if you want to get that Social Security check that you have someday, Mr. Whoever, then cut the funding.
With a proposed White House budget that slashes social programs, City Year would lose $800,000. That remaining $2.4 million essentially comes from the private sector match money. And so the domino effect is, without that AmeriCorps money, all of City Year's dollars evaporate quickly and the program disintegrates.
I feel inspired.
Inspired to do what?
To learn, to do my work, and to go to each class so I can learn more.
Our students in Detroit face a lot of obstacles, but they all have incredible potential, and they just need that extra encouragement and support, and that's what our core members are doing every single day.
We will be remiss as a country to cut such funding, and it will be a ripple effect. Whether it's indirectly or directly, it will affect those who are making the decision.
So as you can see, your tax dollars end up on this desk, which end up on this piece of paper, and end up with this child. But now you don't have a problem with it if you are part of the military or defense. As Karen said, we will be diving into these numbers so we can show you how they affect you and your neighbors. So stay with us, Karen.
All right, very in-depth report. We appreciate that, Paula. Thank you very much. Still ahead, first at 4, private information made public, a luxury retailer facing some questions about online security. Also ahead, this masked robber looks pretty intimidating and he's carrying a knife. But this store owner turned the tables on him and it's all caught on video. Dr. McGeorge.
But up first, it's a wake-up call for anyone who gets behind the wheel of a car. Look what happens when a bus driver falls asleep. The dangers we all might face and some of the tricks that you use to stay awake that don't really work. Good health. That's next.
Spring coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
In Michigan, there are about 160 jobs where you have to have a license in order to be able to operate. But it turns out that there's a new study out that says that maybe not so many people need those licenses, and in fact, those licenses are costing you lots of money.
All right, we look forward to that, Rod. Meantime, let's talk good health. Millions of people are actually driving dangerously each day. We're not talking about drunk drivers, they're drowsy drivers. Dr. Freitman George is here with more on the problem.
Well, Karen, you know, it's a huge problem, and today safety experts are issuing a wake-up call for all of us. It's a dramatic illustration of the dangers of drowsy driving. In 2014, a city bus in Boise, Idaho plowed into a building after, authorities say, the driver fell asleep at the wheel. Incredibly, no one was seriously hurt, but recent research finds drowsy driving causes up to 1.2 million collisions and up to 8,000 fatalities per year.
Sleepiness has an effect of having you not know how sleepy you are.
Today, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration unveiled a new nationwide plan to prevent drowsy driving.
It's akin to an impairment like drinking, in which you may not think you're impaired, but you are, and it can come on really without much warning at all.
Drivers under age 24 are especially at risk. They're twice as likely to fall asleep at the wheel compared to 40 to 59-year-olds.
Drowsy driving has stayed the same, and now drowsy driving deaths and injuries are higher than that for drunk driving in the teenage years.
NHTSA's plan will emphasize warning signs that you may be too tired to drive and hammer home the message that sufficient sleep is the only remedy. Now, experts say rolling down the window, turning up the radio, or chewing gum, they are not effective ways to stay awake. What works better? A 20-minute nap and a cup of coffee.
But then you have no place to nap.
Well,
I guess before you go.
Yeah,
right.
Or pull over to a rest stop. If you're really tired, just pull over. Don't roll down the window, turn up the radio, and try and tough it out, because you'll just fall asleep with the window open.
Scary. All right. Thanks, Doc. Saks Avenue facing some questions about internet security after BuzzFeed reports personal information of thousands of customers was briefly available online. The information included email addresses, phone numbers, and IP addresses. The information was taken down. The store's parent company says no credit information or passwords were exposed and says it's working aggressively to resolve that situation. I'd like to resolve the situation of when spring really is starting. I know we said it started today at 6:29. I was quite excited.
Yeah, in name only.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like it. No.
Doesn't look like it. We will get some better news by the remainder of the week, but not necessarily today. 42 is where we sit. Temperatures are in the 50s out here to the northwest. In fact, Lansing, one of our warmer spots, at 55. And contrast that with the 38 that we're seeing down here in Grosse Ile. Quite a difference across the area. And there's not a whole lot in the way of sunshine out there. Cloudy skies. At least the winds are relatively calm. Not enough to give us a wind chill right now. 42, though, is that air temperature. And we have been seeing a few showers. Those have been mainly in our south zone, but we're just sort of on the northern fringe of a larger batch of thunderstorms that's been down here across parts of Indiana and Ohio. Now, you can also see some rain up here to the northwest. That should not be an issue for us. I think once we get past sunset tonight, any of these showers that are hanging around down here should be drying up pretty quickly, and we'll be left with partly cloudy skies. But going into tomorrow morning, some of these places that clear out tonight, we'll see fog start to roll in, and you can see it here as we get towards daybreak tomorrow. Shouldn't last very long. It's mainly going to be an issue for our west zone, possibly parts of our north zone. Cold front does slice through tomorrow, but it's coming through with no precipitation. just some cold air behind it, and we'll really notice that. In fact, high temperatures as we get into the middle part of the week, only in the 30s. Not very spring-like, but here tomorrow's highs a little bit better than we did today. And we're going to be doing it with more sunshine too. 52 in the city. West Bloomfield, you're going to be at 49 degrees. And keep in mind, we've got that cold front coming in from northwest to southeast. So some of our warmest places will be the last to see that front. And that's going to be down here in our south zone. Lambertville 54, Dundee at 53. But you'll be only in the 40s in parts of Genesee and Livingston County tomorrow. Flint's 46. Howell, you'll be at 48. Brighton at that same number. And maybe a couple 50s down towards Michigan Avenue. Coldest temperatures will be up here in our north zone at 44 in Sandusky. Matching that in North Branch, Marlette, you'll probably be the chilliest at 43. And if we're lucky, we'll get a couple 50s here with that late passage of a cold front down towards M59. Otherwise, tonight, 35, and any showers that we do see in the evening should be gone shortly after sunset. We'll get up to that 50-degree high tomorrow, and keep in mind, we will be seeing sunshine around. Could get a little bit breezy once that front passes as we get into the evening hours tomorrow, but look at those highs midweek. 36 on Wednesday. We slowly start moving back up to 43 on Thursday, and then Friday will be our warmest. It's 60, but we're going to be getting some showers with it, and even though the weekend temperature-wise is going to be at or above average, we have some precipitation to deal with, so not exactly the perfect forecast as we get into the upcoming weekend. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. It was a Super Bowl mystery that a lot of people have been talking about. Where in the world is Tom Brady's jersey? Now we know. Up first, this guy burst into a convenience store with a knife, screaming, "Give me your money." He got something else instead. The video next.
Our client was...
We are back with this video of an attempted robbery at a convenience store. The crook, wearing a scary mask and carrying a knife, bursts into the store in New Bedford, Massachusetts. He screams, "Give me your money," then tries to steal the entire cash register, and that's when the owner pulls out that baseball bat you see right there, and he, man, just starts swinging. You saw the robber start slashing with his knife, but then loses his balance and then runs off. Police are still looking for that would-be robber. Time now for a look at today's top trending stories. After nearly 2 months of searching, Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey finally returning home. Brady famously lost his game jersey during the celebration last month. Well, today, investigators tracked down the jersey in the hands someone called an international media member in Mexico. The jersey is now on its way back to New England, where it will be returned to Brady. Let's talk other trending stories today. Sesame Street breaking barriers once again with this new Muppet. Her name is Julia, and she is a Muppet with autism. She first appeared on Sesame Street's online series in 2015, but will make her television debut next month. The show's creators say they hope Julia will help children better understand autism and help them learn how to interact with kids who have the same condition. If you've ever dreamed of having a personal shopper, get ready. Amazon is offering the next best thing. The online retailer has a new app for its Prime members called Outfit Compare. So you can upload photos and real stylists will judge your clothes based on fit, how the colors complement you, and also the fashion trends. Amazon says any of the stylists that see your photos, they will remove the images that you send when you delete photos from the app.
Do you believe that?
I would be too nervous.
I would be too. But they'll say everything looks good on you.
Well, don't you think? I don't think they're going to say that doesn't look good.
No.
And I would just rather ask my friend or my husband.
There you go.
But the husband always says you look good, right? Otherwise they know.
Does Alexa, will she do that too?
I got to try that. Yeah, I'll give it a try. Still had a sneak peek at the Pink Star Diamond that could set a new record. We'll show you what a 60-carat ring looks like. Wait till you hear the possible price. Finally, first at 4, if diamonds are a girl's best friend, well, the rock you are about to see would be, a very good friend.
The auction house Sotheby's getting ready to auction off the Pink Star Diamond. They predict that this sucker is going to sell for more than $60 million.
It's 60 carats, and they say it is the largest flawless diamond of its kind. It will be on the auction block in Hong Kong on April 4th.
Would you wear it?
No, I would be way too scared. I'd lose everything.
Yeah, it's like putting $60 million in cash on your hand.
It is pretty. I'd wear it for like a day.
You think it's
then send it back. I think it's kind of dramatic. Oh, thanks so much for joining us. First at 4, we're back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Meantime, Inside Edition's next.